Good welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is UsernameHere, joined by my good buddy and co-commentator Devion. Welcome back to Gold Coast for another beautiful late May day. That's when this is being recorded. Get it, May Day. For this new latest episode 23 of the Grand Marshal Grand Tournament. We've got a single actually new car here today. And boy, has it been a while since the last episode of this tournament. I'm excited to see some police chasing. How about you, my good buddy Devion?
Yeah, it's definitely been like a 6 month hiatus since we made our last episode, but things have gotten busy, and we decided to spend today actually, creating more content for you guys.
Indeed, yes, and boy, is it great to be back here in the commentator's chair, ready to watch some police chasing, and hopefully we'll get some pretty good rounds today, because a lot of these cars have had a lot of time. They've had a lot of time to practice and train and hone their skills, and probably create some plans and strategies on how they're going to try to dethrone Watchdog Chicago as well, which is currently still in the lead at 4 points, 3 above the runners-up.
Yeah, and now let's go on to the lineup.
In the first position, just ahead of Watchdog Chicago, holding that pole position, we have the Wisconsin State Patrol Cruiser. Currently holding with 1 point, tied with Las Vegas as well as King County Sheriff, and definitely going to have a lot of ground to make up. But due to the fact that they are in the pole position, there's a lot of opportunities for them to employ useful strategies. Perhaps some kind of a rush or so could as well get them some pretty early points in the rounds before Watchdog Chicago can actually manage to get there and put some pressure on them. But considering the fact that they are behind Watchdog Chicago by 3 whole points, they're going to need to secure this entire episode's worth of rounds if they're going to have a chance of tying Watchdog Chicago here.
Yeah, and you did mention putting in pole position, but of course you always gotta remember that doesn't mean you're gonna win. Mississippi was in pole position, I think, for like the longest time, and he never really, did as much as we believed he could do with that position. Um, and yeah, he will have to score. Like all these cars, guys, like basically score every point in this episode in order to even get like a chance to compete against Watchdog Chicago Police.
Well, I mean, to be fair, though, you mentioned that Mississippi didn't really do a whole lot with the pole position on certain occasions, which is true, but on the other hand, they did kind of win season 1, so they are kind of the champion. So I mean, I guess that pole position can really come in handy as long as you utilize it. But definitely not working out for Wisconsin here.
You do bring up a good point, but at the same time, I feel like from a human's perspective, like I could definitely do way more than what the Grand Marshals were doing in like pole position. You could instantly just dive bomb the runner in the first corner. But of course, that's not what happens in the show, and that would be a little repetitive over a certain amount of time.
Indeed, that would be incredibly repetitive, but the thing is, the human perspective is appreciated, but of course, there aren't really any humans on Gold Coast to speak of, and I suppose that begs the question, what's going on here in the BeamNG.drive universe? Probably takes place in the Cars universe. I wonder when. I wonder when we get the Lightning McQueen mod. But anyway, yes, these Grand Marshals here in BeamNG.drive are definitely going to have a different set of skills and abilities that they can use in order to take down the runner. In the second place position, following in Police Interceptor's footsteps from Season 1, we have the Watchdog Chicago Police Cruiser, currently massively in the lead with 4 points, 3 points ahead of the three-way tie for second between Las Vegas, King County, and Wisconsin. And yeah, they're a bit of a heavy hitter, and but hopefully their skills haven't gone soft in the past 6 months. Hopefully they've been utilizing that time to train and make sure they don't lose their edge. Otherwise, this is going to be a pretty short-lived lead for them. In the third place position, currently tied for second place with himself, King County and Wisconsin, we have the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Cruiser. And he's definitely had a pretty okay start here in this tournament for the past 6 rounds, but he's definitely going to have a lot of ground to make up, just like Wisconsin, if he's going to manage to make something happen. Especially considering the fact that Las Vegas in the third place position is also going to be a little bit at a little bit of a disadvantage compared to Wisconsin in the pole position, as well as Watchdog Chicago, who is poised to gain a very early lead, just like Police Interceptor did.
Yeah, but don't ever forget Detroit Police when he made their position basically the most OP position to be in this entire tournament, after scoring like so many points from basically stealing it from first and second.
That is true. Yes, Detroit definitely did master the art of waiting for their moment to strike, and Las Vegas could definitely learn a few cues from that. And but I haven't really seen it happen that much so far. Las Vegas will definitely need to pull out some very unique strategies in order to get ahead in the points lineup and break that second place, break that tie for second place. In the fourth place position, we have the old state police car with the rotator light bar. Well, I hesitate to say light bar with the rotator light at the top, and they have no points. They haven't done a whole lot. So I mean, thanks for showing up.
Yeah, like half the roster for today's episode have 0 points, and the other half do have like at least 1 point. So we could see if these guys you know make a change in their performance by scoring their first points in this episode.
In the fifth place position, we have the Honolulu police car with a massive upset last round in round 66, where they were so close to getting the runner, but they got it stolen. But it was stolen from them, and they just, completely lost that point. And they really essentially should just have a point and be part of the second place tie. But they were not able to do that. And they've probably had a long time to stew and get a little bit upset over that. So maybe we'll be seeing some aggression from Honolulu. What do you think, my friend Davion?
I think Gold Coast being an island should be this guy's expertise right here. I'm not sure if we brought it up last episode, but I'm gonna say it again. Like this is basically his home turf, so I expect some better performance out of him.
That is true. Honolulu Police being used to being on an island will probably give him a bit of a terrain advantage here, being on Gold Coast. But the thing is, well, not necessarily sure about that. We haven't seen some of that experience shine through just yet. And, it could happen. But anything could happen, really, here in this tournament. In the sixth place position, we have the new BeamNG police car, the winner of the Sorona Desert Invitational, currently with 0 points, though. And, it doesn't seem like a lot of that desert experience is going to really be helping them here on Gold Coast. They might be in a bit of a similar situation to Honolulu, where the terrain experience that they have is just simply not carrying over to Gold Coast.
Well, new BeamNG, or technically, old BeamNG in this matter, has experience with winning. He did win the Invitational, so we know he's good enough to get points, but I'm not sure if he's able to transfer those skills into the main tournament.
That is true, yes, indeed. And by the way, the reason I'm calling it New BeamNG is because it's based on the latest delivery of the Philadelphia Police Department, whereas the other one is based on the 90s delivery of the Philadelphia Police Department, so that's why I call it new. I'm aware that there's, I think, newer versions of this in BeamNG, but whatever. And the newcomer for the 7th place position, replacing River Ridge, we have the City University Public Safety Police Car. Hailing from the city of New York, we have another New York City representative, ladies and gentlemen, just barely missing that stop sign. Doing themselves a nice donut as well, yeah. There they are in all their glory, ladies and gentlemen. City University, New York, of New York, Public Safety Cruiser will be replacing River Ridge in the 7th place position. And in the final position, hailing from the Walking Dead series, we have the King County Sheriff's Cruiser, who is also at 1 point tied with Las Vegas and Wisconsin State Patrol, but however, being in the rear position is probably not going to help him that much. However, he has proven that points can be acquired in the rear position before. We'll see if he'll be able to do it again. He's definitely had 6 months to train for it, and hopefully some of that training will come in handy. In any event, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. It is time for round number 67. Activate your lights, turn on your sirens, fasten your seatbelts, and start your engines, because round number 67 is about to begin. And after its 6 months hiatus, ladies and gentlemen, Wisconsin already making some contact with the runner. Geez, cutting me off as well. I was going to talk about how all of these vehicles are now finally getting a chance to flex some of their skills now here. 6 months later, it looks like the runner is already pit maneuvered by Wisconsin State Patrol. Really aggressive, a little bit upset about what we said, and here comes Watchdog Chicago trying to steal the points, and it looks like things are getting a little bit stuck. The runner might be able to break free from this, but there are a lot of police cars here, and a lot of sirens going off. It looks like things are stuck, but the runner is not dead. Things are bottlenecked here, ladies and gentlemen, right before the ditch, And we are off to a very insane start right here on round 1. Well, round 67, technically.
Yeah, Wisconsin really wants to gain the lead after going through the initial hit so quickly through the round.
Watchdog Chicago is a bit stuck. New BeamNG moves down ahead of him. Wisconsin is up forward as well, and it looks like the car just behind Wisconsin will be, I'm not sure who that is. It is Honolulu, in fact, now in the second place position. New BeamNG coming in along the cinematic corner, trying to make something happen. Looks like they messed up on that corner a little bit. Here comes Las Vegas in 4th place, followed by Old State Police, followed by King County Sheriff in 6th. Watchdog Chicago in 7th. Oh, looks like something's happening here on the cinematic corner. These cars making a freaking conga line here, just decided they aren't going to bother doing anything. Meanwhile, City University is now in the 8th place position. Rams, Watchdog Chicago right in the back. What is happening with the runner meanwhile?
A runner is still being chased by 3 cars that are still in pretty good contention to get the point.
Indeed, yes, the runner is doing his best to get away from Wisconsin State Patrol. Not really interested in giving the pole position vehicle any more leeway. Honolulu catching up to Wisconsin State Patrol a little bit. New BeamNG here as well. And it looks like this is going to be a 3-way battle between these 3 cars to get themselves the points here in this episode.
Meanwhile, we gotta get these guys unstuck a little bit. A little help.
as the cars speed off towards the forest in the background. There goes King County. Watchdog. Looks like something happening with our top 3. The runner is in the tree. Okay, and the cars are in front of it. Don't actually know what happened here. New BeamNG, Wisconsin, and who's up here with them? Honolulu is still up here. And it looks like the runner is still moving. So whatever happened, it will not be. No points will be awarded. Looks like Honolulu trying to keep that frontal position. Wisconsin State Patrol and New BeamNG are battling amongst themselves. It looks like Honolulu will now be taking that pole position, with Wisconsin following in the back foot in 2nd place, with New BeamNG following close behind as well.
Unfortunately, the cameras were not able to capture the incident, but you know the runner's still going, so it's not like it was really the deal breaker for the points.
That is true. The competition is still fierce, ladies and gentlemen, with Honolulu up in front, trying to see what they can manage to do in order to secure themselves a point, because they are interested in joining that 3-way tie for 2nd. Wisconsin interested in breaking it as well as they speed across. Oh, looks like Honolulu and Wisconsin and New BeamNG managed to get the forest turned down just fine, but Honolulu chokes it. So Wisconsin State Patrol will be reclaiming the pole position, and here's the beach turn, ladies and gentlemen. This could be it for Wisconsin, who is making some contact here in the beach turn. And the runner gets a bit spun into the container, but there will be no more contact, and it looks like the runner is still just about up. Wisconsin and New BeamNG don't manage to secure the point. Honolulu is nowhere to be found, which means whoever is in 3rd place might actually be poised to grab themselves a point. It is Watchdog Chicago, our current front runner, maybe going to try to come in to steal themselves a point, but New BeamNG is not content with it. Wisconsin State Patrol as well. Here's Watchdog Chicago. They messed up on the beach turn. Wisconsin State Patrol is doing everything they can to try to break their 2nd place tie. And there isn't really that much they can do about it. However, the runner is kind of boxed in, regardless of the fact that the engine is still running.
Yeah, let's give the runner a little help here. He could definitely still go for a little bit. I'm surprised how Watchdog Chicago was able to catch up after all that. But
Watchdog Chicago had such a mess going on over there, and they managed to catch up. And Wisconsin and Watchdog Chicago are now kind of pretty content with not letting this be the end of the round. It looks like the runner is now going the opposite direction. New BeamNG is also not interested. Here comes Honolulu recovering, hitting the runner between himself and New BeamNG. Wisconsin State Patrol trying to get in it. And I gotta be honest, I didn't see it because my connection hiccuped a little bit. But Honolulu, out of nowhere, recovering from the bad force turn and coming in to try to sandwich the runner between himself and New BeamNG.
I think the runner is given enough chances to escape now, so we'll just leave him be for now. Who do you think should be awarded the point? I think he's basically stuck by now. Can't really go anywhere anymore.
Looks like that will actually be the end of round 1. Didn't really expect such an end to the round, but yeah, looks like I'm not sure because I literally didn't see it because my connection bombed. I'm not sure because New BeamNG was here for a lot of that time, and did Honolulu please hit them into New BeamNG? Is that what happened?
I believe that's what happened. He basically just forced the runner to be trapped between both cars, get sandwiched in there, to like ensure he doesn't escape again.
In that case, I think it would be safe to say that Honolulu, with an amazing recovery after messing up the first turn, will be awarded the point and will be joining the second place tie. Will be joining the second place tie along with Wisconsin, Las Vegas, and King County Sheriff. There is now a four-way tie for second. Congratulations to the Honolulu Police Car, but there are still 2 more rounds to be played here in this episode. Here we see the Wisconsin State Patrol, very admirable effort from that pole position, trying to do what they could to secure themselves a point, staying up in front as best they could, even getting some contact with the runner right after the round started, but wasn't able to translate to a point for them, unfortunately. So they will still be trailing behind Watchdog Chicago, along with 3 other cars now by 3 points. New BeamNG, winner of the Sorona Invitational, definitely bringing the pain, bringing the heat, get it, Desert, but not really able to make anything happen, unfortunately. Very admirable effort, though, working a little bit with Honolulu to stop the runner there in the end and doing their best to make sure no one could just get an easy head-on collision. But unfortunately, it did not translate to a point. However, we do still have 2 more rounds to go. Meanwhile, over here, we have the Watchdog Chicago Police Car, probably feeling it a little bit after that loss in round number 67, but they are still in the lead by 3 points above 4 other cars. So they're probably going to be feeling pretty confident in themselves, maybe a little bit less so after that. But overall, they'll probably be able to recover their pretty quickly.
Yeah, Watch Dogs Police did eventually end up in third place when he hit the runners, so maybe he's like playing a little Detroit strategy right here by letting other people take the lead first.
That is true, yes. Watchdog Chicago does not want to be caught with the same choke that Police Interceptor did. He's got himself an early lead, and Watchdog Chicago is probably content with keeping it as best he can, grabbing a point where possible, but overall not being too aggressive and allowing someone like Las Vegas to get that point.
Yeah, it just seems like he's playing it safer right now.
Meanwhile, speaking of Las Vegas, who kind of had themselves a bit of a problem with King County on the first turn, these two are fairly decently good competitors. They've been very aggressive for the entirety of season 2 so far, and they are also tied for second as well. But it looks like they weren't able to bring a lot of their signature moves here for round 67. So unfortunately, they will end up stuck on the first turn. Meanwhile, Old State Police just over here next to the frickin' lake. I don't even know what happened. Old State Police, though, with that rotator, definitely didn't really manage to do a whole lot, unfortunately, that particular round. But hey, at least their rotator looks cool, and they have a different siren, right? Meanwhile, City University of New York manages to screw up on the frickin' bus turn of all things, okay? Not really sure how they managed to do that. I guess maybe their steering was busted, but that's an unfortunate first round for City University, yeah. Hopefully they'll be able to make something new and exciting happen on round 68.
And yeah, that's all the cars. We're gonna clean everything up and move on to round 68.
Here we are in the lineup of cars that have been reset for round 68, ladies and gentlemen. And what a round it is probably going to be, because there are some very interesting dynamics emerging from these cars now. What do you think about that, my friend David?
Yeah, Honolulu is finally using his island expertise to get some points here. I was kind of hoping that Chicago would get another point from third position, bring back some memories of Detroit, but he's in the lead already, so I think he's just go play it safe for now and hope that no one else really catches up. Just have the points a little bit distributed amongst cars.
That definitely does make sense. Watchdog Chicago is not going to lose the lead this episode by any stretch of the imagination, even if someone else grabs both the future rounds that we're about to hold here. Watchdog Chicago will still be in the lead by 1, so they're pretty content with just letting things unfold and essentially playing the quiet game, playing the long game, playing for patience, pretty much testing the waters and seeing what kinds of things are going to happen, as a lot of these other competitors have had 6 months to strategize and see if they can try to unseat Chicago. Looks like Chicago is content with just seeing what's going on before trying anything crazy.
All right, and now it's time to get round 68 underway.
And they are off, ladies and gentlemen. Round 68 is now underway. Wisconsin moving ahead. Watchdog Chicago in second. Las Vegas in third. Old State Police in fourth. Honolulu in fifth. New BeamNG in sixth. City University in seventh. Then King County lagging behind just a little bit in the 8th place position.
It seems like this
Are
round's
these-
going a bit more smoothly. There hasn't been any contact yet, but we'll see. Eventually, there will be some contact, but definitely not as early as last round.
Indeed, no contact made just yet. The runner moves around the cinematic corner like normal, followed, well, closely by everyone. You know, I just did. Oh, it looks like Honolulu trying to battle with Old State Police, but doesn't really manage to get anything. And City University and King County just absolutely freaking meme all over New BeamNG. Wait, New BeamNG is actually going to maybe recover from this, but now City University will be holding that position. So City University now moves up to the 6th place position in the lineup. New BeamNG is dropped down to 7th now.
Going down the incline right here, might have some cars overshoot it, considering that they're, you know, a little bit spread out right now.
That's true, yes. There are a lot of spread out cars there. It looks like everyone is going to be handling this turn just fine so far. It looks like City University maybe going a bit fast for that, but no, it looks like everyone is going to handle it just fine. Same over here with this particular turn. Looks like Honolulu battling with Old State Police again, but not going to manage to grab anything. City University choking completely and will be losing their position to New BeamNG as well. So New BeamNG hitting back and restoring essentially the default lineup with how they start. So no real couple of interesting position changes, but so far nothing really too fancy happening this round. A lot of these cars just content with doing what they can. Like I said with Watchdog Chicago, I guess they're all kind of doing that now for this first round. Everyone came out swinging, and now they're just saving their stamina and their fuel for the 3rd round of this episode.
I think Old State Police gotta, you know, step up his game a little bit. I feel like he should be on the chopping block. He hasn't really done much in these episodes so far, but we'll see. Maybe he could, you know, redeem himself in this round.
That is true. I agree. Old State Police is definitely going to be in a little bit of trouble here if Old State Police doesn't manage to grab anything going. Looks like the runner's now moving around the beach turn. Wisconsin messes it up. Watchdog Chicago does the same thing. Some pretty bad hits that they just took. Same with Las Vegas. No one and Old State Police. No one can handle this. Wisconsin is actually flipped over, so Watchdog Chicago will be moving ahead to the front. There's King County Sheriff and New BeamNG, which have switched places for some reason, and Honolulu is actually nowhere to be seen. There's City University in the back as well. New BeamNG with the aggression, pit maneuver in King County as well, but hitting a rock and sacrificing positions for City University. How are things going over with Watchdog Chicago and the runner now?
It looks like runner has slowed down significantly because everybody else has kind of, you know, slowed down and wrecked on the beach turn.
Indeed, yes, that beach turn is a real killer for some of these cars. Looks like a lot of it. What? That was a weird camera angle. A lot of these cars definitely going to be having themselves a bad time. There's Old State Police stuck after the beach turn as well. A lot of these cars trying to do what they can to recover, but the runner has now gained a lot of distance on these cars.
Yeah, all these cars are also extremely damaged, so might be a disadvantage.
Meanwhile, Honolulu is just like in the forest somewhere. They actually look in pretty good position. Is this the forest turn? Wow, that was an early wipeout if so. Yeah, this is the forest turn. That's an early wipeout. So if they turn around, they might be able to grab themselves a 2nd point this episode as well. New BeamNG with some busted steering. Freaking King County flipped it somehow. The runner is still going meanwhile. They're now at the bottom of the incline once again.
It seems like Honolulu got his 1 point this episode. It's kind of like taking a break for the rest of it.
Indeed, that would make sense. You're riding high if you get a point in these episodes. Oh, New BeamNG going off the cliff, I think. Where even is this? Is anyone? After the cinematic corner, yeah, they have had really busted steering there. Looks like Watchdog Chicago and Las Vegas got stuck on each other a little bit. Looks like Watchdog Chicago with some bad steering. Las Vegas just doesn't even have that freaking tire anymore, essentially, hanging on by a thread, potentially, literally. Someone is a mess. Honolulu just going backwards. Okay, Las Vegas is a bit busted. There's Wisconsin still going, and the runner is just having himself a bit of a cruise with no one nearby at all. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's time for a couple of resets.
Perhaps potentially time for a couple resets. Yes, what has happened to all these cars? A lot of them are just completely gone. There's Wisconsin way over there at the incline as well, but they have tons of ground to make up if they're going to manage to grab themselves the points, as well as the fact that with their busted steering, their top speed has been reduced dramatically.
Which cars do you think deserve a reset?
Oh, wait. That is a good question. Who's the one flipped just up here? That would be City University. A lot of these cars have busted steering thanks to that beach turn. They're going to be having a real bad day. Maybe City University could grab a reset out of course because this is their first episode. Watchdog Chicago moving ahead. Old State Police as well. Someone freaking flipped over. Someone freaking flipped over underwater. Maybe King County too, or something like that. Watchdog Chicago moving ahead as best they can. Old State, that's Las Vegas actually. Las Vegas will be grabbing themselves a reset. Old State Police just is now stuck in Las Vegas. Old State Police was about to go in the dirt. Some of these cars are now trying to do what they can to turn around. It looks like that might have been Honolulu on the beach there. Here might be a head-on collision. Yep, City University, after that reset, manages to grab themselves a pretty good head-on collision to bust up the runner's steering. So that is fortunate for him, but might be enough to grab themselves a point. Old State Police whips it completely. It looks like these two are essentially now joined here. The runner will now be moving ahead. City University, pretty aggressive, might be pushing the runner into the drink now as well, unless the runner can recover from this, which will happen due to some help from our producers. Looks like the runner will, looks like this will not technically now be the end of the run. Las Vegas is here as well. So is Old State Police, completely full of condition. Las Vegas messes up with the rock. And now Old State Police is now in the pole position as City University just does themselves a flip to celebrate. Old State Police, of all people, now in the pole position. This might actually be their time to shine. Old State Police gets themselves a nice little spin out on the runner, but will not necessarily be enough to make something happen. How are things going over on the front? Someone is flipped over here. Is that King County? That is King County. King County is now flipped back over.
Oh, he still runs.
King County still runs. Old State Police trying to block the runner as best they can, but the runner is just trying to move ahead, and they're still running. Here's King County going to be gently ramming City University, and there's no real clear winner of this round. King County actually helps the runner there. City University isn't managing to get any contact either, and the runner is just stuck on Old State Police.
Yeah, it's like they sandwiched Old State Police in between them.
Yes, ironic. King County content with trying to make sure the runner isn't able to get ahead anymore, and the runner will now be freed once again by our producers, and this round is essentially just anyone's game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we have pretty, I don't know, ruined cars right here, but they're all still running and still have a chance to claim this point we have right here.
That is true. City University completely overshoots the runner here, but they're going to be turning into the runner, getting themselves a little bit of contact. Old State Police messes up their contact by hitting City University first, and King County rams City University right there in the back, in the rear bumper. And I don't know if the runner is still going. I'm not even sure who we would count that as for a point.
Let's see if the runner is still going. I can't really tell.
King County's still aggressive. Not even sure if the runner is still going. It's like they maybe aren't.
I don't know. I think the runner's done.
What an unusual ending.
Oh, wait.
Old State Police still content with the runner is actually still going after.
Oh, he wants his point. Old State Police wants his point.
Old State Police really wants this point, ramming the runner into the rocks right here. Then there's City University in the back. What an intense three-way battle for first for this round. But the runner is still going, and here's King County overshooting it. The runner is still managing to move.
I don't think the runner has much left in him, but we'll see if
barely anything left in him. Then Old State Police still has plenty of juice left in the tank. Old State Police essentially it is his round to fail, but City University and King County really want that point for themselves as well. Unless Old State Police just going to park there. He's decided he's done. Runner spins out, actually. Okay, right over there, heading into the town, and none of these vehicles really are functional anymore, it seems. Oh, wait, there goes Old State Police. So maybe Old State Police is functional, kind of just about. City University now just behind him as well, and the runner is pretty much done on his own. Old State Police whips the hit, same with City University as well. City University hits Old State Police in the back, and here comes King County. And this point is essentially just freaking up for grabs. If King County gets that hit, then King County will also whip. Or just park, because I guess the runner is down.
Runner's still going?
Who do you even count that as a victory for?
I don't know. The runner just doesn't want to give up.
The runner doesn't want to give up. City University doesn't really want to give up either. Like, who would you even count this as a victory for? King County backing up as well. Try to maybe get some contact there. The runner's now trying to pit maneuver King County. All right, as well, how the tables turned. You know, change team, all kinds of memes. And King County just going to probably try to turn around. Maybe City University whiffs it again. King County content with parking. Old State Police there as well. And, like, what an unusual end to the round, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like none of these guys really want to hit the runner. Just want to park around him.
It's not very up. Old State Police gets themselves a bump against the runner right there in the parking lot right outside our offices. City University, okay, just whiffing the hit again. Well done. Nice, good work.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like a joint effort by 3 people. I think 2 of them have 0 points, and one of them with a point
That is
already.
indeed true. King County has 1 point. Old State Police and City University have no points to their name.
Yeah, and it seems like as if King County kept trying to sabotage him from getting their first point. It's kind of interesting. It's like he wants to keep like above them on the scoreboard.
That is true. That does make sense. All three of these cars have battled viciously for that point, and they have also pulled out all the stops to try and sabotage each other. So I don't really know what to call that. I don't really know how to call that. I don't know who gets the point. If any, maybe we'll call it a draw, honestly.
We could call it a draw. I don't know. These guys have definitely worked hard to stop the runner, but there wasn't one hit that definitively took him out. It's just a couple of smaller hits that kind of, eventually got the runner stuck on something.
That is true, yes. These cars fought bravely, they fought fiercely, but essentially in the end, they trampled over each other. And in the end, all three of them tripped just short of grabbing themselves that point. So I think my personal opinion is I'll maybe call that a draw.
No points awarded.
No points awarded, no.
So, I guess that will be the decision for round 68. With 0 points awarded, although these Grand Marshals have worked hard to try to gain that 1 point. And now let's check on the other competitors.
Honolulu Police over here right now is stuck at the beach turn, sort of. It looks like they're still running a little bit. I think I saw their tire twitch a little bit. And they won the first round, but definitely wasn't their round in round 68. So definitely some of that island experience could help them in general. But for this particular round, it seems like they weren't really able to make a whole lot happen. And the same is true of some of our other competitors. Las Vegas in the third place position as well. Also wasn't really able to make a whole lot happen. Very admirable effort, though. I will say that. Wisconsin State Patrol, meanwhile, is kind of stuck on the long straight. So, yeah, looks like they're just essentially regaining their bearings. Looks like a lot of that training for that 6 months hasn't really helped them too much. But again, that wasn't really a very good round for any car. Especially as we see over here wrecked, we have Watchdog Chicago, our current front runner. Our current front runner with 4 points, definitely content with just seeing what's what. And here we have our essentially two favored competitors in the first and second place positions in the lineup. Right here, busted on the long straight. That is not something that usually happens to anyone, let alone the front runners. Oh, and meanwhile, New BeamNG is just at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. Yeah, they were like they could feel it in their bones. They could feel it in their car frame. They were like, "This is going to be a awful draw round. I'm just going to go for a swim. See you guys later."
And with the conclusion of this round, we will clean everything up and move into the final round of this episode.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the lineup for this next round, the third and final round of this episode. And looks like a lot of these cars probably are going to be reeling just a little bit from that very strange draw. It is also worth noting that the runner was placed a bit further ahead of Wisconsin State Patrol in order to precipitate. I think that's the right word, right? Or hang on, wait. Don't mind me, just literally. Well, that's not the exact usage of that word. It's more in like a negative context, and that's not the context I was intended. But yeah, I guess it works, sort of ish. In order to precipitate a high quality round, the runner has been moved ahead of Wisconsin State Patrol. By the way, vocabulary lessons with UsernameHere. Anyway, so in the first place position, we have the Wisconsin State Patrol Cruiser currently with 1 point, but only one round left to turn that point into 2. And definitely going to be feeling a little bit of pressure to do that as well, considering Watchdog Chicago is still holding in 4 and only 1 point has been awarded this episode. In the second place position, content with just biding their time, essentially, we have the Watchdog Chicago police car with 4 points, currently still the front runner. Can they turn that 4-point lead into 5 this round, or will they continue to bide their time and see how the dynamic develops for their other competitors in order to plan their long-term strategy?
You know, maybe Marshall Chicago could earn another point here to further cement his lead, but if I were him, I'll just take it easy for this final round. Like, I doubt anyone else is gonna catch up to him today.
Well, you doubt anyone's going to catch up to him. It's also mathematically impossible. No matter who wins, he'll still be in the lead by 2. So, meanwhile, in the third place position, we have the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Car, who definitely has done a decent amount in previous episodes, but here in this episode has kind of flown under the radar just a little bit. Maybe doing something similar to Watchdog Chicago of biding their time and just waiting for their moment to strike. After all, that is the Detroit strategy, being in third place. In the fourth place position, we have the Old State Police Car, who has done absolutely nothing since they've arrived in the tournament, and as a result, I would say they're safely on the chopping block.
I don't know. He did work pretty hard in round 68 to, earn his first point and maybe save himself from being eliminated. He still has one more chance to do so. Him and BeamNG Police both have 0 points so far during the duration of these past couple episodes that they've been in. So we'll see what happens. Only one can survive, and one will be eliminated. And tune in to find out in the coming round.
Indeed, yes. One shall stand and one shall fall. Meanwhile, in the fifth place position, yes, we have the Honolulu Police Car, definitely using that island expertise in order to secure themselves a point in the first round of this episode, but not really managing to break the draw in the second round. Not really managing to find a way to get another one and break the draw in the second round, but of course there is one more round to be played here in this episode, and maybe they can make something happen there to try to break the, I think it's a 4-way tie by now, actually, yeah, right? Yeah, there are 4 different cars currently with 1 point. Meanwhile, in the 7th place position, who I am a little bit torn on whether or not they're on the chopping block, but I would say it would be safe to say that them and Old State Police are definitely on the chopping block together. Old State Police definitely did a lot of effort, definitely put in a lot of effort in that last round, and New BeamNG with the Sorona Invitational has proven that they can win points and win rounds. But the problem is, if they don't win rounds in the tournament, then they aren't really, going to last very long in the tournament. So I would say these two vehicles are on the chopping block, and as a result of that, we'll have to see how they manage to perform in this round. While here in the 7th place position, and if I said 7th for New BeamNG, I meant 6th, my bad. Meanwhile, in the 7th place position, we have the City University Police Car hailing from the city of New York, who just got here, gaining his just got here. He's gaining all the bearings that is required in order to win. Definitely put up a very interesting fight in the last rounds, but not enough to grab themselves a point. And they will not be on the chopping block because the rule is you can't eliminate a car the same episode they arrive. Actually, I think we did do that once, but it was like really bad. Anyway, they will be safe for now. And moving on over to the King County Sheriff's Cruiser, hailing from The Walking Dead with 1 point there in the back, there in the rear position. And looks like they're kind of biding their time as well, gaining their bearings, because again, there has been a 6-month hiatus for this tournament. And I think they're pretty much just content with the strategy that seems to be rather prevalent here of just seeing what they can do to grab up some strategies, absorb some knowledge, and see where the dynamics are with their other competitors.
I think he is definitely an interesting person, an interesting car, because he tried to sabotage the other 2 cars with no points last round. So we're gonna see if the other cars are gonna give payback to him for doing that or not, or yeah.
That is true. Yes, King County City University and Old State Police were locked in such fierce combat to get themselves that point that in the end, eventually none of them managed to grab that point. So definitely shows the value of teamwork in some cases. In any event, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Activate your sirens, turn on your lights, start your engines, and fasten your seatbelts, because the third and final round of episode 23 is about to begin. They're off, ladies and gentlemen. The runner with a little bit more distance is now going to be moving on ahead. Meanwhile, our standard lineup of cars is going to be moving on ahead as well. And this is the final make it or break it round for episode number 23. 2 cars are in the chopping block. And this will definitely, determine the future of the tournament, obviously. That's a weird thing to say, but anyway.
They're rounding down the cinematic corner. Still no contact yet. I feel like moving the runner up a bit further has definitely helped this situation.
Indeed, yes, there is now no contact, and let's see if any positions will be changed. Looks like New BeamNG trying to challenge Honolulu for one. King County trying to challenge City University for one, but it looks like no positions will actually be shifted here, unfortunately. Shout out to Las Vegas, the lighting, by the way. I like that. They got some cool lighting effects there. Nice.
Yeah, they have a
Las Vegas does have the only, I'm not sure what that light bar is technically
vector light bar.
That is a vector light bar. Marvelous. I thought it was. I wasn't sure if it was called a vector. Yeah, Las Vegas with their vector light bar, we're not really helping them, but hey, they look pretty. So.
Yeah, Las Vegas is the only car in this roster right now with vector light bar and headlights that flash as well.
That is true. Headlight flashers and a vector light bar hasn't really been helping them that much, unfortunately, though, which is unfortunate because they look really nice, and I'm sure Las Vegas has a lot of fans that want to see them get carried through the tournament, maybe even to victory.
Seems like pretty safe so far for all the cars. Oh, we have a collision.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, seems pretty safe for all the cars. Yeah, it looks pretty safe to me. Hey, well, let's get City University down here. He's the public safety guy.
it was pretty smooth until the third car, and then it wasn't smooth.
Oh yeah, things are pretty safe for the cars, except for the part where 6 of them crashed.
Yeah, right after I said it as well.
Yes.
Looks like runner's just cruising.
Yeah, the runner's just
whoa.
Wisconsin State Patrol is definitely not cruising here on the large forest turn. Watchdog Chicago messes it up as well, so it looks like this could be an opportunity for one of those 6 cars. Here comes Las Vegas screaming into battle after all that, but they might mess it up too. They just barely managed to get around Wisconsin, and Las Vegas is now in the pole position. Never mind, where the frick did Old State Police come from? I didn't even realize that. Old State Police is now in the front of the pack, but the beach turn is right here, coming in strong. Old State Police manages to get it. Las Vegas manages to get it pretty spectacularly. New BeamNG is here as well. So the 2 chopping block cars as well as the 3rd place runner-up. There goes Honolulu as well into the drink. Decided he wanted a taste of home quite literally. Meanwhile, City University is a little bit busted thanks to the beach turn. And there goes someone, I don't even know who that was. King County manages to get around the beach turn as well. And the runner is now moving to the ditch, but there are Las Vegas's lights, and these 3 cars, as well as King County over in the 4th position, are trying to do their best to move in. Old State Police manages to move in, but they whiff and get ahead of the runner. Las Vegas is now going to take that 1st place position from Old State Police. New BeamNG actually overtakes Old State Police as well. And Las Vegas is now making contact with the runner on the cinematic corner. New BeamNG actually sabotages Las Vegas. There goes Old State Police. Meanwhile, King County is going to whiff as well. Those 2 cars have whiffed and gone off the cliff. It is a battle between Las Vegas and New BeamNG, ladies and gentlemen. These 2 cars are now essentially the only front runners to grab that point here in this round.
Oh, looks like they get another hit on him.
Oh, New BeamNG actually does manage to get themselves a great rear-end hit, but here's Las Vegas to try and contest this. The runner is now spun around, but there's no one here to capitalize on this because King County and Old State Police choked, and there's no one else here except for maybe City University, unless City University is too damaged.
Oh, he's still running.
Honolulu is still running as well, but they're going to have a lot of ground to make up to get back over to the road and back to the runner. It could just be in the back for these 2 cars, ladies and gentlemen, unless Las Vegas really wants that point. But where did those 2 cars go?
I think they might have fell off the cinematic corner.
Nope, I see New BeamNG at the cinematic corner, so they're stuck there. And Las Vegas might have just fallen off the cinematic corner as well. Looks like City University and Honolulu are now stuck as well. This is essentially maybe City University or Honolulu's round to lose, ladies and gentlemen.
Looks like his car is done for. It's only Honolulu that's still running. If he can find his way onto the road.
So Honolulu, as long as Honolulu manages to get back on the road properly, this is essentially just their round to lose. And Honolulu fans are definitely going to have a really fun time today as Honolulu literally just backs up. All right, well.
Looks like he doesn't want to win today.
Honolulu just literally doesn't want a free point. All right, there's the runner. Okay, Honolulu just literally doesn't even want a free point. All right.
Let's check on the other cars.
Wisconsin State Patrol, Watchdog Chicago still busted. Las Vegas and Old State Police have indeed gone off the cinematic corner. Yeah, New BeamNG is stuck on the cinematic corner as well. And they might still be running, so this could definitely be their round to win as well. And they would cause a 5-way tie for 2nd.
Oh, he's still running, I think.
Too. Oh, yeah, I thought...
Oh, wait, he survived.
Survived going off the cinematic corner. What a legend. What a legend. They managed to land on that little path there. Was that path even there before? Or was that added by like a patch?
I'm not sure, but whatever it is, it kind of saved him.
Whatever it is, King County being the first car in history to well, I mean, other cars have done it on like the small ledge that's kind of halfway down. King County managing to survive the cinematic corner. It looks like King County is still running, albeit just barely. And there's essentially no one left to challenge the runner, the free point driving around the track. There's essentially no one left. Oh, except new BeamNG, who's definitely going to have a lot of ground to make up. There goes King County. All right, well, that's unfortunate.
Let's give Honolulu one more chance, because now he's been overtaken by new BeamNG. Or
New
old
BeamNG
BeamNG.
moves ahead of Honolulu and goes around the beach turn. Honolulu, just come on, get on the road, man. What are you doing? Honolulu will now be moving ahead. They're finally finding their fervor, but they are going to have to overtake new BeamNG in order to grab that point, and the runner is still somewhere. Where is the runner, in fact? The runner is now actually almost towards the incline, so there is a lot of distance between the runner and the nearest vehicle.
So yeah, it's a battle between he might overshoot this corner.
Having a bad day here. Looks like their steering is definitely not really helping them that much, but they managed to recover from it. But how much top speed and how much performance did they lose? Looks like not a whole lot. Will Honolulu do the same thing? They're definitely screaming in. Looks like Honolulu is going to manage to brake properly. Wait, maybe. Okay, well, definitely less damage than new BeamNG, so good for them. Looks like this will now continue to be a battle between new BeamNG and Honolulu.
Yeah, these cars are definitely catching up to a runner because he has like no one to flee right now. But it's only a matter of time until one of these guys either wreck themselves before they catch up to a runner.
That is true, yes. Will they manage to catch up to the runner and secure themselves a point, or will they end up wrecking themselves at some point? Because the flea car is nowhere to be found, and as a result, the runner is going rather slow around that cinematic corner.
Do you think it's time for some resets in case these guys don't catch up to him?
Maybe let the runner go past the spawn point, because whoever we reset, whoever's in front is just going to head on the runner and then just win. So.
Oh, is he gonna survive that corner?
Oh, looks like
that looks like a hard hit.
With the bus turn, new BeamNG messing up the bus turn. I think Honolulu's cars actually quit over there. I don't even know what happened. Honolulu's cars just quit.
Yeah, I think it just died on him.
Honolulu's cars just quit on him, and so new BeamNG is the only car left.
He's gotta keep his car safe. He doesn't want to
basically have no tire either. No, there's the tire. No functioning tire either.
I think it's time for some resets. Runner has passed the start-finish line.
I would say it is indeed time for some resets here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go with Las Vegas. New BeamNG can stay because they're still up. Old State Police, yeah, and Honolulu, sure. Maybe King County as well.
Old State Police, Honolulu. Who else?
Las Vegas. City University too, sure. Basically just everyone. Basically just, oh, frick. New Vegas, yep, they're good. New Vegas.
New Vegas.
Yeah, shout out to Fallout New Vegas, patrolling the Mojave and everything. Yeah, so new BeamNG having a bad day over there, but Las Vegas has now been reset, and there's City University as well. Looks like most of these cars will now be reset. There's King County too, reset them as well.
Oh, he's got one hot on his tail.
Actually, here, someone is closing into the runner. I don't actually know who that is. It might be Old State Police.
I think it might be.
Oh, yes, it is indeed Old State Police screaming ahead. They really don't want to get eliminated here. And are they going to whiff this turn? Or, they whiffed the turn. They whiffed the turn. They whiffed the turn. Well, they whiffed the turn.
Well, his car's still running. He still has a chance.
That's true. His car's still running, but he completely whiffed the turn, and there's Honolulu as well, going to be moving ahead of Old State Police. And what's going on over at the runner's side of things? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of people around here. Where's King County as well? There's Las Vegas screaming down the long straight as well. Old State Police trying to desperately to recover from that. There's Honolulu. New BeamNG.drive. New BeamNG as well screaming on ahead. City University took a bit of damage as well, and there is King County, who will likely be...
Oh, wait, what's happening over there?
What's happening over... Oh, that's interesting. Looks like Honolulu actually managed to get some contact with the runner. Not even sure how that managed to happen, but it will be nothing that can end the round. So Honolulu, essentially, this is now Honolulu's point to lose here, ladies and gentlemen. And Honolulu has a lot of the speed. Looks like there's more contact. The runner's now being spun out here on this turn at the bottom of the incline, but this could be a Detroit moment if Old State Police managing to redeem themselves. They whiffed it again.
Oh, who's next coming up to hit him?
Who is next in third place? Looks like is that New BeamNG and Las Vegas just behind them, but they're just kind of struggling to move on ahead. What happened to Las Vegas? Oh, they're stuck on a bumper. They're stuck on, I think, City University's bumper. Yeah, come on, there it goes. There you go. And how are things going at the runner? Looks like if New BeamNG whiffs this, the runner's still being pit maneuvered by Honolulu. They really want that point. And here comes Old State Police again, who whiffs it right into City University. All right, well done, good. They really hate each other.
Let's get them unstuck, hopefully.
Meanwhile, Honolulu falls into a ditch. Old State Police and City
Whoa,
University hate each other viciously. Here comes Las Vegas. And it looks like this is now going to come down to Honolulu versus Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen, as the runner moves on up the incline. But that bus turn is coming in fast, and we all know what happens with these cars in that bus turn. Here comes the runner moving up the incline, followed not very closely by Honolulu with heavy damage on his front end, going very slowly. Probably going to be losing that position potentially as well to Old State Police as well as Las Vegas. So essentially the battle between the two cars that don't have normal-ish light bars. Yep, there's Old State Police and Las Vegas already overcoming Honolulu. So it looks like they're out of the running here. Old State Police, though, will be bumping the container, and Las Vegas goes into the drink. Las Vegas completely whiffs and goes into the drink. That is a massive win. That's City University, not Honolulu. All right, because Honolulu was in the ditch. Yeah, that was City University. My bad. They're the ones that are essentially out, I would say. But with all that front end damage, though, they're now in the pole position. So yeah, City University now moving on ahead, and here comes the runner around getting towards the ditch and back over to the main spawn point of all these cars.
Yeah, looks like the first round of recess hasn't really done much. They all just correct each other again.
That is true, yes. This is a very difficult round for a lot of these cars to manage to move on ahead. Las Vegas having a bad day. Old State Police spinning out. Honolulu is just in a ditch somewhere. New BeamNG is actually flipped on the first turn over here. And City University, as King County, flipped at the bottom of the ocean as well. And meanwhile, City University, despite having heavy damage, they're essentially one of the only competitors left again.
Yeah, he's definitely got a determination to catch the runner. It's just if the skills back it up or not. That's a different story.
That's true. He's got plenty of determination, but does he have the steering and I think he just literally lost the tire right before our eyes. It just fell off, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's just weight reduction.
Yeah, weight reduction. King County still flipped at the bottom of the drink. Our City University misses that container at the beach turn, so that is good, but their car is slowing down a little bit. They're actually getting a bit close to the runner. Wisconsin will not be reset. Watchdog Chicago is back. Wisconsin and Watchdog Chicago are now going to be vying for that first place position as well, but they're going to have to get through City University and whatever they're going to be able to manage to do. Old State Police is stuck. Meanwhile,
he's still running. He still has a chance to catch the runner.
Runner now moving ahead on the first turn, and here's New BeamNG, who's currently flipped, and that is very unfortunate. If New BeamNG was able to wait here, then they could have probably grabbed themselves a point. Runner actually is trying to help New BeamNG. All right, so shout out to the runner. Shout out to the runner trying to help New BeamNG get back in the game, and meanwhile, there's pretty much no one up here to grab themselves a head-on collision unless Honolulu is still running. They could essentially just get it right here and right now. And yeah, looks like they got a bit of damage, but as long as Honolulu is still running and they have enough time, they might be able to grab themselves a head-on the runner. Looks like maybe they just don't want it. No, never mind. Maybe they do want it, but they got to get up a little bit of speed. Here it comes. That's a solid head-on collision, but not enough to stop the runner. Honolulu just wasn't able to build up enough speed, but Honolulu is now back in the game. Pit maneuvering the runner as well, so the runner is now going the normal way on the track. And is poised to get head-on by someone else, unless they fall in the ditch. Now they're fine. Oh, here's someone. City University comes in to grab themselves that second head-on collision as well. But the runner is still going. Here's Watchdog Chicago, and this is essentially anybody's game. No one can stop the runner. The runner is on fire today, essentially. Oh, wait, Watchdog Chicago trying to force the runner into the ditch. This could maybe potentially be it, ladies and gentlemen, unless the runner manages to back up. Runner does manage to potentially back up, and is now stuck on a rock, and the fierce round, ladies and gentlemen. Runner is now back up. It looks like Honolulu will be immediately capitalizing on this to try to get themselves some contact. And City University with heavy damage here as well. The runner is now going to be maybe trying to get unstuck again. And like, wow, this is just anybody's game.
Yeah, it seems like no one really wants to actually take out the runner, but rather just get him stuck.
And there goes the runner again, ladies and gentlemen, followed closely by Watchdog Chicago. Are they going to manage to get themselves a pit maneuver? No, they chicken out, unfortunately. They decide to do it over at the first turn, maybe. The runner is going to get pit maneuvered, so that is good for Watchdog Chicago, who's decided maybe he wants that 5th point. He is now pushing him into a T-bone formation, but what can he really do? Is the runner going to make it to the water? Runner makes it to a rock, and is that down for the runner? No, the runner is still going. After all this, the runner is still going. City University and Honolulu up there are still just locked in essentially vicious competition up there. But the runner is just still going. No one can get him today. The runner is on fire today.
Yeah, he's. Oh, whoa.
Oh, nice. Well done.
That
Runner
might.
doing a literal victory dance because no one can freaking get him. Here comes Watchdog Chicago as well. City University is stuck on the beach, but that will be remedied in a brief moment. Meanwhile, Honolulu is down there as well. Runner goes right into Watchdog Chicago to taunt him, and Honolulu is going to be moving on ahead in that first place position. There's City University as well, but they have no steering, and there isn't really much they can do, so it looks like they're out of the game. It is now a battle between Honolulu and Watchdog Chicago, ladies and gentlemen, but the runner has no steering as well, and the runner crashes into a rock and gets smashed in the front by Watchdog Chicago, who flips himself over and sacrifices himself to do it, but no, it's in vain. The runner is still up. Where's Honolulu after all that? What just happened to Honolulu?
I think the runner's done.
The runner is finally managed to quit. There's Honolulu managing to choke right at the end.
Yeah, it looks like Chicago's getting another point.
So after all of that, Watchdog Chicago comes in and finally manages to show everyone their skills and scream in for a final point, flipping themselves over to do it in order to cause the runner to quit. Insanely valiant effort by some of our other competitors like Honolulu. Very challenging competitor to beat, clearly, but in the end, Watchdog Chicago, you know, the rich get richer. Watchdog Chicago will be awarded their 5th point of the series. Of Season 2, I mean.
Yeah, so after an extremely long round, actually, and multiple resets, we eventually crowned the winner for this round. And now let's check on the other competitors.
And here we see Honolulu in the drink, you know, one of their native habitats, essentially. Viciously fierce fight, very admirable fight put up in the 3rd round. And they did manage to get a point in round number 67 as well. So definitely a fierce emerging competitor here, but unfortunately wasn't able to beat Watchdog Chicago that time for that point from this round. Wisconsin State Patrol. Okay, all right. So they immediately spawn and then just parked against a rock. All right, good to know. Wisconsin State Patrol essentially just didn't even bother showing up. Marvelous, good. Las Vegas, very fierce competitor as well. Friendly reminder, they do have 1 point to their name, but whiffing it on the bus turn and going into the drink. So a little bit unfortunate for them. New BeamNG whipping on the forest turn, but they did win the Serrano Invitational, and they did put up a pretty fierce battle in a couple of those rounds as well. So valiant effort, but didn't really translate to a whole lot, unfortunately, for them. City University, our newcomer, proving to be a fierce competitor, but they've got a lot to learn before that ferocity is able to translate into points. And they're still running, so points for them, not really, because you get... Yeah, City University, pretty good competitor as well, but unfortunately not managing to translate it to points. But there are plenty more rounds for them to prove themselves, and they did show that they can go toe-to-toe with other cars, including Watchdog Chicago, and hold their own. Have King County Sheriff, meanwhile, just in the drink somewhere. King County Sheriff, pretty good competitor, manages to land on the path below the cinematic corner. They do have a point as well, but definitely just completely whiffing it for a lot of these rounds, unfortunately. Pretty fierce competition between them and some other cars, but at the end of the day, didn't really manage to grab a whole lot. Unfortunately, here we have Old State Police, who has done essentially nothing since they've arrived in the tournament. Definitely did their best, gave it their all, but came up short, unfortunately, for them. So as a result, the judgment of the judges has returned, and Old State Police will now be eliminated from the tournament.
Yeah, it was definitely a good effort in the round 68, but he was not able to really capitalize on that and save himself. And that eventually, ultimately, makes him the cards eliminated for this episode.
Indeed, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is UsernameHere. Here is my co-commentator, Debian. And thank you guys so much for tuning into the Grand Marshal Grand Tournament. There's definitely plenty more excitement to be had here on Gold Coast. Tune in next time for rounds number 70 through 72.